Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zhang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Ranked, where I climb the online VGC 17 ladder, provide live commentary as I go. As I mentioned, I think today will be our very last episode with the team that we've been using for quite a while now, but I'll post a team breakdown with the EV spreads and movesets pretty soon after I get the new team. So yeah, hopefully you guys have been enjoying watching this team. It has been definitely a blast to use, and it's incorporated obviously a lot of metagame trends, especially the Tapu Fini, the Arcanine, Porygon, and the Muck. We've seen a lot of Kartana, Arcanine, and Tapu Fini cores run around recently, so it's something that I wanted to incorporate for the next team. I think, the trend really has been trying out all kinds of different Pokemon, and so there will be some cool stuff in the next one as well. We're going to find our first opponent of the day with a pretty cool team of Oranguru, Politoed, Celesteela, Marowak, Tapu Bulu, and Xurkitree. So definitely not a standard team by any means. Lots of strong Pokemon. For example, the Politoed Tapu Bulu core, that kind of reminds me of what we saw Wolf use over in London. Obviously, Alolan Marowak, super common, but the Xurkitree and the Celesteela, it's kind of rare to see both of those on a team. Xurkitree in general, definitely an Ultra Beast that isn't used too much, but it definitely has potential and it's really strong. And Oranguru for the potential Trick Room option, which is always a little bit scary. So, a couple things to keep in mind. Tapu Bulu could have superpower, which means Porygon would have a little bit tougher of a time. And also, it does give my Fini some trouble. It's also annoying because I can't just really bring Ninetales because Politoed obviously kind of just shuts me down. But I think pretty safe to lead Muck here. And I actually really like Muck Garchomp. Most of the times I don't lead Garchomp because my opponent has something that threatens Garchomp, but Garchomp outspeeds everything here, bar maybe Xurkitree if it's Choice Scarf. So that's something I'm going to want to watch out for if my opponent is potentially using that set. In the back, if my opponent does bring Politoed, then I can actually take advantage of the rain by bringing my Tapu Fini. And for the last one, Arcanine's kind of good, but Politoed does come into play, then its fire type damage is not as great. So I could go with Porygon. This one's kind of a tough call. I'm opting for Porygon, but this means dealing with Celesteela is going to be really tricky. I think I probably should have brought Arcanine, honestly. The Politoed kind of discouraged me from bringing it, but I'm really afraid of an endgame against Celesteela, so we'll have to see how I can play around that. But gonna get into the first game of today's episode. As always, if you guys enjoy Road to Rank, please show support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. Let's see what my opponent leads with here. It's going to be Politoed and Xurkitree, okay. So, a lot of this already hinges off items, because really don't know what the Xurkitree is carrying, and if it is Choice Scarf like I think it is, then it's going to be somewhat problematic. Okay, let's see. So my goal is to eliminate Xurkitree right now, but I think I'm going to play it safe turn 1 and protect my Muck and just switch into Porygon. Porygon can put on decent offensive output with Tri-Attack, and both Xurkitree and Politoed have access to potential Ice-type attacks, with Xurkitree having Hidden Power Ice if it's Choice Scarfed, and even if it's not, it could still have HP Ice, and Politoed could have Ice Beam. And the one scary thing here is Xurkitree could go for a Tail Glow if it is carrying that, so we'll see. Otherwise, it could go for a Protect as well. So Porygon's going to come in, going to get an attack increase, unfortunately. Politoed goes for a Protect, okay. So that's already good. Let's see what Xurk goes for. Is it a Hidden Power? Could be a Thunderbolt into Muck as well. Volt Switch? Huh. I think I'll take that turn, though. Wasn't expecting Volt Switch. But seeing that allows me to make a pretty safe play of Knockoff. I think Xurkitree is going to be choiced here. Knockoff, and I'll probably Ice Beam here as well, yeah. Xurkitree will probably swap out, but this way I'll get to do a lot of damage to whatever comes in. So, Volt Switch go into a Politoed instead. I want to say that's Specs damage output. That kind of looked like Choice Specs. But then again, Xurkitree does have the highest base special attack in the game. So let's see what comes in. And nothing can really take a Knockoff and an Ice Beam combination too well. Even if I don't knock it out, it should still do some comfortable damage. So, okay. Yeah, it didn't confirm the item on Xurk, though. And that's a little bit troubling. I'd assume maybe he didn't want to go for HP Ice, expecting Garchomp to protect or switch out. And I still don't know the item. It's not Life Orb, obviously. So Tapu Bulu comes in. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do as much because I could have Poison Jab that slot. Instead, I opted to go for the Knockoff, hoping to catch a Marowak, maybe. Ooh, that's... Okay, that also explains some. So Politoed goes for the Encore. That's something I should have considered. And that's going to be a little bit annoying to deal with, because I am locked into that now. So Ice Beam does a pretty good amount there to Bulu, and I actually get the freeze. That's very fortunate. Obviously, like, don't think I needed that. I'm not in a position where it's like I need to get lucky to win the game, but that definitely helps me out right now. So I'm wondering if this is Wolf's Politoed with Perish Song, because that means it wouldn't have Ice Beam. So I'm actually going to switch into Feeny. Switching to Feeny is kind of weird. Actually, my opponent could predict the Feeny switching, and Feeny is kind of a win condition. So I'm actually going to bring in Chomp here, yeah. And I'm going to try attack the Politoed because Bulu is going to be in Poison Jab KO range anyway. So if I try attack Politoed, it could be in Tectonic Rage KO range. We'll see if Bulu can unthaw. If it doesn't, that's definitely very unfortunate. And it does stay frozen. Freeze is just super bad status. Oh, that's cool. We actually see the Scald into Labulu to unthaw it, which not something you see every day, but definitely a very nice move by my opponent. Okay. So Ice Beam actually... yeah, if I Ice Beam, that's not actually could have just picked up the knockout. Alright, so now I could Z move or I could Poison Jab into Bulu. So... don't know if Politoed is Ice Beam. We've seen 3 of its 4 attacks already. Yeah, Bulu just does a ton of damage. I think I'm gonna Tectonic Rage here though in Ice Beam, yeah. Okay, Politoed protects. Yeah, so that was kind of an obvious protect. I also don't know if it Ice Beam or not. It probably doesn't, to be honest. So Bulu's gonna get a really strong attack off. It's probably going to be a Wood Hammer onto Chomp. I mean, I'll trade the knockout, and I'm actually fine with that because Bulu's a threat. It's basically the biggest threat to my Tapu Fini. But I could have capitalized a little bit more. My fear was if that is Scarf Xurkitree, then if I knock out Bulu here, he just gets the free switch into Xurkitree anyway. But this still ends up being an overall better turn for my opponent because I could have just knocked out the Bulu. Yeah, so it doesn't do too much there. Oh, Z move Tapu Bulu, okay. Also wasn't anticipating that, but that makes sense because we haven't seen its item yet. It wasn't leftovers. So we're going to see the Bloom Doom come out. The question is, who does it target? Probably Garchomp. I'm fine with whoever it targets. I mean, I'll probably lose... oh, it's actually Porygon, okay. Do I survive that? Wow, that actually knocks me out. That's crazy. That's kind of a testament to how strong Tapu Bulu is, man. Okay, so I lose Porygon. It does give me an opportunity to now bring in my Fini, though. The issue is, we do know that Politoed is Calm Mind, or Encore. So I wonder if he's going to try to just Encore me immediately, because I could just Poison Jab him. I'm assuming Politoed doesn't have Ice Beam here, but I don't know yet. But I will just Poison Jab into Bulu, I think, and Calm Mind. Overall, my opponent's team is kind of weak to Tapu Fini, so I can utilize that to my advantage. The unfortunate thing is Rain is about to expire, so it'd be great if Politoed actually switched out and back in for me. But last turn, yeah, I mean, the Politoed Protect was kind of obvious. Bulu actually switches out. Okay, good play. Into Celesteela. So that confirms the 4th. So we know all 4 now. Poly doesn't protect, which is kind of scary, because he might be going for an Ice Beam or a Scald. Let's see. Okay, he just Scalds. That's fine, I'll take that. He can't burn me. Jeez, that did over 50%. That's a super not super offensive, but that did way more than Politoed normally does. Okay, so with that, I'm going to withdraw into Muck for sure right now. And I think I'd rather protect here. Yeah. You could double up into Chomp, but I think it's unlikely. Yeah, trading the, like, I lost Porygon too, and Gracium Z on Bulu, I mean, I guess that's something you should anticipate. There's, like, since Bulu isn't even that common of a Pokemon, it's tough to really predict what's coming your way. But Fini's gonna protect. Let's see. He actually did have Ice Beam, wow. He just wasn't going for it this entire time. Huh, interesting. Leech Seed into the protect, okay. With that, I'm going to knock off Celesteela and Muddy Water. Politoed's not an offensive threat right now. He could switch out, but like a Xurkitree switching it would take a lot of damage. I missed Muddy Water on Politoed, which is unfortunate, but it's more important to hit Celesteela, I guess. So actually that does pretty good damage, and the good thing is Scald still can't burn me, so that's always nice. Leech Seed does connect. Gonna hit Tapu Fini this time around. So this is gonna be a little bit annoying, but I at least remove any means of recovery let Celesteela in half through this knockoff. Yeah, that actually takes a ton of damage. So now he's only healing from leftovers, which is good. So it's not the worst of positions, but it's still a little bit scary. However, the good thing is Muk still has its berry, and that can go a long way. I just don't know the item on the potential Xurkitree in the back, but I'm gonna go for the knockoff here onto Politoed, and I'm actually going to Calm Mind again. I think the best play for my opponent right now is to actually switch out, and if he doesn't switch out, then Fini will be at +2, which is really good. But it is frustrating because my opponent did conserve the Bulu, so Bulu's still waiting for me in the back, and that can just immediately knock out the Fini. Don't know how fast he is. Muk obviously can take Bulu pretty well. Celestia actually does swap out here, which is a very good play, out into the Tapu Bulu. So we're going to have some mind games this next turn. Grassy Surge is going to start healing everything too. So Politoed doesn't protect. He could burn me with Scald here as well, which is scary. We will figure out who's faster here, though, based off the leftovers, or the Grassy Terrain recovery. So he's going to Scald into my Muk. Yep, I think I'd prefer that, actually, because it procs my Figi Berry, so I'm going to heal all the way back up to full. Alright, let's see. No burn, which is good, and then I get the knockoff, removing its Wave Incense. I don't even know what that does, wow. Okay. So Fini pretty much heals back to full. That should mean it's faster than Bulu. Yeah. That's good. Can I knock Bulu out? I'm at +2. It's +2 Moonblast. I have Shadow Sneak as well, but that's a little bit too... Okay, I have Chomp in the back. Obvious play here is to just protect Poison Jab. I feel like Bulu's going to protect here. And we're just going to see in... So what I could do is I could actually switch Muk out into Chomp. It's a little bit passive, though. He could also Ice Beam me there. And I don't know the item on Xurkitree yet. Okay, I'm going to go for an obvious play here and just protect Poison Jab. I don't lose too much if Bulu does protect. Nah, actually no. Bulu's it's going to protect here. I should have switched out into Chomp. Yeah, that was too obvious. Or Calm Minded. Huh. He Encored into Muk. I didn't even consider that, but that's a good play. Probably almost faints, but it doesn't. That's actually really frustrating, because I had the free switch into Chomp there. And that actually would have put me in a very good position. Fini was so set up here, I kind of didn't think about that too well. You probably just Ice Beam my... You Ice Beam Muk here. Poison Jab still just knocks out. Maybe I want to stay in with Fini here. I'm going to stay in with both. And I'm going to target around the Politoed. That's frustrating, though. The Bulu Protect last one was so obvious. I should have just switched into Chomp and attacked with... actually, protected with Fini. That would have been fine. Yeah, that would have been perfect, because then I would just Poison Jab Moonblast. There's pretty much nothing my opponent can do. Politoed actually protects. Okay. That's fine, because I didn't target that slot at all. I do have +2 with Fini, but it doesn't knock out this Bulu, most likely. It does! That's super good for me. I was not expecting that. I thought I could have won the game without that, but that just made this match a lot easier for me. That Bulu, definitely offensive, obviously. I mean, you have to assume at least max attack, given its damage output. I mean, it's using Gracium Z, right? So, like, it's got to hit really hard. But I'm just surprised that... I guess I underestimate Fini's damage output sometimes. Okay, so we're going to see Xurkitree come in. I think my opponent needs a crit at this point. He probably has Thunder as well. But I will just... I'm going to double up into Xurkitree. The Politoed's not doing anything right now, so I'm going to Moonblast and knock off that slot. I do have Fire Fang on Chomp too. He does go for the Blind Thunder. He does connect. Shouldn't knock me out unless he crits. Yeah, that comes super close though. No Paralysis, fortunately. So +2 Moonblast going to come out. Going to target on that Xurkitree. And pick up the knockout outright. Tapu Fini is just taking Pokemon left and right now. It does not want to go down. We're also going to see the Scald. Not even go into the Fini slot. Going to go into Muck. Doesn't burn me either. Knockoff here should pick up the knockout onto Politoed. Yeah. So I was kicking myself because I knew Bulu was protecting, and that was kind of a case where I kind of ran out of time. It's a little bit frustrating sometimes because, like, the thing is, even if you have, like, for example, 5 seconds left or 7 seconds left, that's actually not enough time to input your moves. So, if, like, you really need to basically have some sense of what you want to do before 10 seconds. I was kind of surprised to see Politoed protect there. I suppose it couldn't have really done anything, but yeah, getting that knockout onto Bulu was huge. I didn't think even Shadow Sneak plus Moonblast could have knocked it out, but once again, I was at +2 and not +1, so I was kind of underestimating that. But now I can just safely win the game. Don't even need to go for a... I'm not going to risk the Muddy Water miss. I've got Fire Fang in the back anyway, so yeah, my opponent's going to forfeit there. We're going to take the first game in this episode. Really, really good game. It felt like I definitely could have made a much better play by switching out into Chomp that one turn. Although, hilariously enough, it actually ended up working out. That Muck stayed in because he was just able to put on offensive pressure there. But yeah, if I switch into Chomp, then I have Poison Jab pressure. The best play would have actually been to just Moonblast into Labu's slot and Poison Jab. I don't know why I thought Bulu was super bulky and could have taken the Moonblast, but yeah, like, there's... Knowing that Fini was at +2, like, it was in Moonblast KO range originally, so could have just switched out into Chomp while Moonblasting into that slot, which is 100% safe play. The only downside is if my opponent goes for an Ice Beam into the Muck switch out, which I thought was honestly pretty probable. But we're going to find our second opponent of the day, running a really cool team here as well. Pelipper, Garchomp, Tapu Fini, the Vikavolt, the Dhelmise, which is definitely something we have not seen too much of. I barely know what that even does, honestly, so this is going to be an interesting match. And the last one is going to be that Mimikyu. So this is a really interesting team comp because it's got, like, components of a lot of different teams that have had success, but it's just, like, Dhelmise is definitely interesting. I know it gets, like, Anchor Shot. Pretty slow Pokemon as well. I don't know its base speed exactly. Unfortunately, without Freeze Dry, bringing Ninetales isn't that great. That's a little... You know, you could still make a case for Ninetales, though, because you can Icy Wind. And that's actually not too bad here. But I think I actually really like leading Fini here, because Fini can just kind of calm mind up. Although I suppose Dhelmise is kind of a concern. But if my opponent brings the Rain, then I can kind of take advantage of that. I want to lead Ninetales. I mean, it's kind of useless. It just covers the Garchomp. That's really it. But I think you could also make a case for Tapu Fini, Muck, Porygon in the back, and Vikavolt's, like, if I can knock out the Rain, then Ninetales Blizzard is actually pretty good here. So I'm actually going to have Ninetales in the back. But, yeah, my opponent's team has a lot of interesting Pokemon, so approaching this matchup is going to be intriguing. Let's see what comes out. I think, yeah, I don't know. We'll see if Garchomp comes out as a lead. Because the thing is, you normally don't want to bring Garchomp out as a lead against, and we don't see it. Okay, that's good. We actually see Pelipper. That's super solid here. Obviously, Muck is kind of pressured by Water-type attacks right now, which is kind of the one main concern. But I mean, we could just see like a double Scald. I mean, a Scald and a Moonblast into Muck, which would not be fun. I'm definitely going to Calm Mind this first turn. I could just Protect here. Double Water-type attacks, they probably knock me out. So I think I'm actually going to withdraw into Ninetales right now, because even if Ninetales goes down, I get the free switch him back into Muck. I don't know. Ninetales is pretty good in this matchup, though. We'll see what item Fini is and whose Fini is faster. He also could just Tailwind here with Pelipper, which I'd be fine with. The nice thing about Ninetales coming in here is I also break Pelipper's potential Sash with Hail. Wow, I'm the fastest with Fini. That's also good to confirm. Okay. So getting a Calm Mind off before my opponent can attack at all is really good, given that it's two special attackers. Pelipper Tailwinds. Okay, so I could have Poison Jab there, but I'm fine with this. Because his Fini won't do as much damage. He does go for just a Muddy Water, yeah. But that's going to be reduced, obviously, because Rain isn't up. Okay. I think that's Specs. Not entirely sure, but I think it is. Neither of those two Pokemon can Encore, which is good. And I probably now do want to conserve the Ninetales. My opponent opted to go for the Tailwind route as opposed to the Trick Room route, which is interesting. But that's fine. Pelipper might honestly be inclined to switch out right now. So instead of Calm Mind, I'm going to try to see if it does switch out and catch it off guard by going for a Moonblast. And I'm actually going to swap out into Porygon 2. Porygon 2 could get a special defense increase due to Pelipper's special defense being pretty low. Or special attack increase, sorry. It could also set up Trick Room at some point now. And if Garchomp comes in, Porygon applies pressure against that. So Feeny, the MVP of the last one, really, with Calm Mind. Let's see if it can pull through this time around. Getting that Calm Mind up turn 1 was really good, but kind of frustrated because I did want to Poison Jab Feeny. That would have done a ton of damage. Instead, I opted to go for the more conservative route. Also, the Muddy Water there did exactly 76 damage, so that might, if it's a high roll, like Ninetales potentially could survive another one, but I'm not going to risk it. And it could have been a low roll for Onai. Pelipper does switch out. Let's see if it's Garchomp. It's Vikavolt, okay. I'll take that. Because I do still get some free damage onto that slot with Moonblast, and I'm at +1. We'll also see, fortunately, like, because Hail damage is based off speed, I don't know, I could just outspeed that Vikavolt. And get a special attack increase, which is super nice. He's just going to Muddy Water, yep. Hopefully no accuracy drops. That's what I'm scared of the most. And that's why I hate that Muddy Water is like a common attack right now in this format. And he gets one on Feeny. Come on. At least I hit the Moonblast though. But that is frustrating. Okay. So if... Okay, no. So Vigavolt's still faster here with Tailwind up. That's good to note. I could go Trick Room, but the thing is my opponent's Tailwind's going to expire soon. Pretty sure that's Specs Feeny on my opponent's end, though. If that accuracy drop didn't happen, I'd feel a lot more comfortable about my position. But that makes things a little bit scarier. Okay, let's see. 2 more turns of Tailwind. Protect on Feeny is kind of obvious. He's definitely going to Muddy Water. I could maybe survive a Thunderbolt. I'm gonna try attack into Vikavolt and Moonblast. I think protecting Feeny's probably... Oh, okay, Feeny switches out. Into Pelipper. That's interesting. Well, let's see what Vikavolt does. I was thinking maybe my opponent would predict the Protect from my Tapu Fini. He could also... Yeah, he's going for the Thunder. Does that target Porygon or Fini? Nah, Fini. So I could have protected that slot. I didn't expect... Yeah, I realized he had the Thunder option, and I thought maybe he would have targeted Porygon expecting a Protect there. Wow, I actually burned Vikavolt from Tri-Attack. I'll take that. So Vikavolt faints. Okay. I'm gonna bring in Ninetales, yeah. So Pelipper doesn't actually do too much damage against Porygon, which is nice. Garchomp's coming in. That's actually super nice to see as well. Okay. The one thing I'm afraid of right now is the Z move from Chomp onto Porygon. I think what I do here is... I Trick Room. Yeah, I Trick Room and I Blizzard. Because Z-move doesn't knock me out outright. He has to double up onto that slot. And if he doesn't knock out Porygon, then I win the game through Trick Room. Because Porygon Muck wins me the game against my opponent. Like, I could have protected Ninetales there, but if I protect Ninetales and he doubles up on a Porygon, then I'm kind of in a tricky position. Because of the fact that Scald... Actually, Scald probably doesn't knock out Ninetales in this range. Maybe. So we'll see. He just Earthquakes, okay. So I think I just get Trick Room up safely here. Ninetales probably faints, let's see. Yeah. But I'm fine with that. And he's just gonna Scald. Also fine with that. Yeah. So I get Trick Room up. The only tricky thing here is now I'm in Scald KO range from that Pelipper. so Tail and Peter's out. I mean, I could just protect recover, actually. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. But he could Z-move Porygon. I'm gonna protect recover, yeah. I could even survive Z-move plus Scald, which is why I'm going for this play. It's a little bit frustrating, like, because if I protected Ninetales last turn and just Ice Beamed, maybe that would have been the better play. But then again, it's still the same case of, like, he knocks out Porygon, Porygon doesn't get anything out. If I protect Ninetales, then Muck comes in, but Ninetales is pretty weakened at that point. Oh, Garchomp switches out. That's wonderful. Okay, I'll take that any day. That should actually just win me the game. Because now what I can do is double up into Feeny with a Poison Jab and a Tri-Attack, because I know that's... Or at least I'm fairly confident that's Choice Specs. Good Scald into Porygon. That's fine. It's not doing too much. It is doing more than I'd like for sure, but that's not the end of the world. Maybe I should recover again here, actually. Mist disappears too, which means I could get burned now. Okay. I'm gonna jab, and I'm gonna try attack. Yeah. Poison Jab doesn't knock out Feeny outright, Try Attack will. Feeny's Muddy Water is right now the biggest threat, and it's Specs, so it does more than I... Actually, never mind, I'm faster with Porygon, my bad. Under Trick Room. But I will knock out Feeny here. Scald, even with the burn, don't think it knocks out Porygon, but we'll see. Unless he Scalds Muck, which I would be happy about, but no, it's going to Porygon. No burn, nice. Okay, so that's nice. We're not out of it yet, though. I mean, we haven't won the game yet. I don't know. I feel like that Chomp doesn't have the Z move, given that it hasn't gone for it. How many turns of Trick Room do we have left? 2. So it's basically a 50-50. Does Garchomp protect this turn, or does it protect next turn? Because I either double up into Pelipper here, or I attack Chomp with Ice Beam, because I got the special attack increase. I could protect Recover, but that doesn't make too much sense at this point. I'm going to knock off Pelipper, yeah. How many turns of Hail left? There's 2. I feel like it's not going to protect. Recovering is honestly the safer option. Oh, I went for Ice Beam. I ran out of time. He doesn't protect, okay. Oh, I made the call there. That was super risky, though. That should... Yeah, that knocks him out. Okay, because the other play I wanted to make was to knock off Pelipper and Recover, but knockoff doesn't knock out Pelipper. So what happens then is Scald's going to come out and knock out Porygon, which is fine. Because I don't know what Garchomp was going for. He still could have had the Z move, which was the other fear. Like, we never confirmed whether I had it or not. But now I just win the 1v1 against Pelipper, even if he, like, crit burns me or whatever. I guess his win condition is what? Hitting Hurricane, critting me. He needs the Hurricane, I think. 2 Shadow Sneaks knocked out Pelipper. Is there any reason to... I guess if he hits Hurricane and confuses me, like, I'd have to get another Shadow Sneak off anyway. Pelipper protect, that's fine. Oh, that was a doozy, yeah. I figured, I made the read like Garchomp wouldn't protect there, because if I double up into Pelipper and Garchomp Earthquakes, that game is 100% over. Although it's also 100% over. It basically came down to a 50-50 there. I don't think recovering... If I recover and he Earthquakes, I just lose. And I thought maybe he would have... Like, earlier I could protect Recover because there were more turns of Trick Room, but given that Trick Room was about to expire, I had to make a bigger play there, I think. You know, let's go for the Hurricane play, so it's not... I haven't won yet. Oh, no. Please. Hits Hurricane out of rain, also confuses me. Do I get hit with confusion here? Okay, no. I kind of wanted me to get hit by confusion just to make things a little bit more climatic, because then it would be so intense with that, and then like you go for Scald, you hope for the burn, hope for another confusion, but Mutt comes through, so I couldn't have asked for a more fun last episode with this team. It was 30 minutes or so, but some super, super intense games. Pretty glad we won both of those, but that last one really coming down to a 50-50, and I could have played a little bit better earlier on, I think, but overall we were able to take the W at the end of the day. Yeah, I don't know, Vikavolt switching in, that's something I should have maybe considered, and I could have played around that a little bit better. And, you know, losing Feeney was pretty bad. Like, him getting the Thunder knockout onto Feeney, that one turn was bad, because Feeney put in so much work against my opponent's team. But, yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, please leave a like if you did, and tomorrow we will be back with a new team, most likely. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. As always, please leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, peace.